All right, so end of chapter 27. When we left off, remember, Kasha was just telling Xander the truth on what's been going on.
Wait, what happened yesterday? She told Xander about
She's
Kai.
telling Xander right now.
That she.
I'm sorry, I say, rushing. You're my friend. I love you too. It is the first time I've said those words to him, and it comes out all wrong. The sound of it, hurried and strained, makes the words seem like less than they are. You love me too, Xander says, his voice cold. What game are you playing? I'm not playing a game, I whisper. I do love you, but it's different. Xander says nothing. A hysterical giggle rises up in me. It's exactly like the last time we had an argument and he refused to speak to me. Years ago, when I decided that I didn't like playing the games as much as I once had, Xander was mad. But no one else plays like you, he said. And then, when I wouldn't give in, he wouldn't talk to me. I still wouldn't play. It took 2 weeks before our peace was brokered. That day he saw me jump into the pool from the diving board after grandfather jumped first. I surfaced, frightened and exhilarated, and Xander swam over to congratulate me. In the rush of the moment, all was forgotten. What would grandfather think of this jump I'm taking? Would this be one time he would tell me to hang on to the edge with all my might? Would he say to cling to the side of the board until my fingers became bloody and scraped? Or would he say it was all right to let go? Xander, the officials played a game with me. The morning after the match banquet, I put the microcard in the port. Your face came up on the screen and it disappeared. I swallow. And then someone else's face appeared instead. It was Kai's. Kai Markham? Xander asks, disbelieving. Yes. But Kai's not your match, Xander says. He can't be because... Because why? I ask. Does Xander know Kai's status after all? How? Because I am, Xander says. For a long moment, neither of us speak. Xander doesn't look away, and I don't think I can stand this. If I had a green tablet in my mouth right now, I'd bite, taste the bitterness before the calm. I think back to that day in the meal hall when he told me Kai couldn't be trusted. Kai could be trusted. Xander believed that, and he believed he could trust me. What does he think of us both now? Xander leans closer, blue eyes holding mine, hand hovering next to mine. I close my eyes, both to shut out the pain in his gaze and to stop myself from turning my hand up, weaving my fingers through his, leaning forward, meeting his lips. I open my eyes and look at Xander again. I came up on the screen too, Kasha, he says quietly, but he was the one you chose to see. And then, quick as a player making his last move, he turns away and pushes through the doors. He leaves me behind. Not at first, I want to tell him, and I still see you. One by one, the people I can talk to have gone. Grandfather, my mother, and now Xander. You're strong enough to go on without it, Grandfather had told me about the green tablet. But Grandfather, am I strong enough to go without you? Without Xander? The sun shines down on me where I have chosen to stand. No trees, no shade, no height from which I can look down on what I've done. And even if there were, I cannot see for the tears. Chapter 28. At home that night, I take out the green tablet again. I know what it can do for me. I saw what it did for M. It will make me calm. That word, calm, sounds impossibly beautiful, gloriously uncomplicated. A water-smooth word, a word that can take the edge away from fear, gloss it over, make it shiny, calm, gentle. And I put the tablet back in the container and snap it shut, turning to another kind of green next to me, my framed piece of dress and its bit of glass. I wrap my hand in one of my socks and then press it down, hard. A faint snap. I lift my hand. It's harder to break something than you would think. I wonder if the society is finding this to be true of me as well. I put my hand down again, push, harder. It would be easy if no one watched, if no one could hear me, if these walls weren't so thin and my life weren't so transparent. I could throw the glass against the wall, smash it with a rock, destroy with abandon and noise. I think the glass would make a glittery sound when it broke. I would like to see it burst into a million pieces and shine all the way down. But instead, I have to be careful. Another long, silvery crack runs along the surface in the glass. Underneath, the smooth ice green cloth is undisturbed. Carefully, I pull the pieces of glass apart, lift the largest one up, and pull out the fabric. I take off the sock and hold up my hand. I'm not even cut, not even bleeding. After the scratchy wool of my sock, the silk feels cool in my hand, luxurious, like water. My birthday began with the water, I think, as I fold the material, and I smile. After I've tucked both the fabric and the tablet container into the pocket of tomorrow's plainclothes, I climb into bed with that image in my mind. Water. I will drift away tonight on my dreams. That way the data tags won't pick up a thing in my mind except me, Kasha, floating on the waves, letting them carry my weight for a little while. The officer's not at hiking today. Instead, we have a junior official who bites his words out quick and fast, as though he thinks this is how the officers speak. His eyes sweep over us, happy with the power to oversee, to direct. The decision has been made to shorten leisure activities this summer. Today's your last day hiking. Take down as many of the red flags as you see and knock over the cairns. I glance over at Kai, who does not seem surprised. I try not to let my gaze linger on his face, try not to look for answers in his eyes. We were both polite and normal on the air train ride to the Arboretum this morning. We both know how to perform when we're being watched. All the time, I wondered what he thought of me running away from him on the hill yesterday, what he will think of me once he finds out about the sort, and if he will accept the gift I want to give him today. Or will he do to me what I did to Xander and turn me away? Why? Lon asks in a whine. We spent half the summer marking these paths. I think I see a faint smile on Kai's face, and I realize that he likes Lon, who asks the questions no one else will ask, even though he never gets an answer. It strikes me that this is a kind of bravery, a wearing down kind of bravery, but bravery nonetheless. Don't ask questions, the official snaps at Lon. Get started. And so, for the last time, Kai and I begin to climb the hill. When we are far enough onto our own path that no one else can see us, Kai grabs my hand and I reach to untie a red cloth from one of the shrubs. Forget it all, he says. We're going to the top. Our eyes meet. I've never seen him look so reckless. I open my mouth to say something, but he interrupts me. Unless you don't want to try. There's a challenge in his voice I haven't heard before. His voice isn't cruel, but he's not just curious. He needs to know the answer. What I do now tells him something about me. He doesn't say anything about yesterday. His face is open, his eyes alight, his body tense, every muscle saying, it's time, now. I want to try, I tell him. To prove it, I lead the way along the path we've marked together. It isn't long before I feel his hand brush mine, and when our fingers intertwine, I feel the same urgency he does. We have to make it to the top. I don't turn around, but I hold on tight.